David, you have held the position of Principal and CEO at CWA for a very impressive 17 years. You've spent that time championing FE, skills sector, and working to drive an agenda of collaboration and continuous improvement, nationally, regionally, and locally, in the best interests of students, employers, community, and the team at CWA. Given your impressive track record and reputation reference collaboration and leadership, what are you most proud of in relation to CWA's impact on meeting skills needs?
That is a long time, isn't it, Sarah?
It certainly is.
Look, I am really proud of my time here and what we've achieved. I think at the heart of that is delivering on our strategic ambition and our vision, which is changing lives through learning. I see that time and time again. And I see our students, apprentices, supporting not only their own development, but of course, going on to careers in local businesses and supporting wider aspects of the community. And I suppose, my top highlights from all that time, firstly, would be leading a fantastic team to make that happen. Mm-hmm. I think seeing sustained impact over that period of time, seeing my team deliver that time and time again. We've won multiple awards for engagement with employers. We've got fantastic partnerships with loads of stakeholders locally, and I've won awards for that on multiple occasions. And I suppose ultimately, just seeing our students achieve fantastic things, progressing and going on to fantastic destinations.
Excellent. Okay. How do you measure your impact reference meeting skills needs?
There's quite a bit to that, actually. There's a number of things. So we'd look at LMI data to see, where there are skills gaps over time. Are we making a difference in terms of those? I think some of the aspects that demonstrate to me that we're really making a difference is sustained impact. There are, for instance, key companies in engineering advanced manufacturing sector. That sector alone is disproportionately significant in the areas that we serve, and to see those companies coming back to us time and time again for repeat apprenticeship business that helps them to continue to have fantastic international reputations, that's standing the test of time, I guess. And we've got quite a number of companies that have won awards for their engagement in apprenticeships. Probably the most recent of those was just a year ago, where Beach Electrical was announced as one of the top 50 SME apprenticeship employers in the national list. I think they came something like 33rd on that list. They've worked with us for many years on apprenticeships, and there are lots of companies that are winning awards for their engagement, and so are our apprentices. So people like Roxanne Freeston, who a couple of years ago was announced as the Level 3 Advanced Apprentice of the year right across the east of England, and it's not the first time that we've won those kind of awards. We've got companies like Palm Paper, who in 2008 were the biggest inward investor anywhere in the east of England, and hasn't really been topped. A £400 million investment in 2008. Their big decision was about location, whether the price was right, but it was also about where's our workforce coming from and how's that going to be sustained, and what will skills delivery look like locally. We were quite significant in them making that decision. We supported their apprentices back in 2008. We still do now. In 2020, I went back to the floor to see two of our engineering apprentices who work at Palm Paper, and saw firsthand the extent to which we continue to support their business. We've won awards ourselves for engagement with employers. We were the first ever college to win the Armed Forces Covenant Employer Recognition Scheme Gold Award. Other colleges have done it since. The first UK college ever to win that, in recognition of our partnership with them and helping them to support skills needs. Just last month, November 2023, we were announced as a Beacon College in the AOC Beacon Awards for engagement with employers. It's the second time in 5 years that we've been commended in that category, and we get that recognition through inspections. Previous inspections have commented on the extent to which we have great partnerships with key stakeholders, and we are truly responsive to meeting the needs of the local area.
Excellent. As a leader of a large team across a very diverse economic and geographical area, how do you ensure skills needs are met, particularly in relation to social values, given we have some key hotspots in our catchment area?
It's a good question. And, working with stakeholders isn't just about our engagement with employers, it's a broader piece than that. I think the start for this is our strategic plan, the clarity of our vision and our ambitions, and the extent to which we want to inspire our students not only to be successful in narrow definitions, you know, qualifying well in their particular course. It's about a lot more than that. And it's about their growth and personal development whilst they're with us. And it's about seeing them having strong values and embracing in their part in the local community. So, examples would be during the pandemic, for instance, we saw some of our Uniform Protective Services students working side by side with our local borough team as COVID marshals, not volunteering independently, but taking on board additional training and support and being part of that wider approach, demonstrating some college values, but also really connecting to the local communities. We saw staff and students making PPE. We kept our nursery running so that we were supporting frontline workers right the way through the pandemic, often with small numbers. It wasn't commercially viable for us to do it, but in terms of our social value set, it's really important that we did continue to do that. And we embrace charitable donations from students every year, raising funds for children in need. Race for Life is a regular aspect of college community where it brings staff and students together for a good cause. There are lots of examples. One of the most recent ones is the White Ribbon Campaign, where we've signed up to that. I'm an ambassador for that initiative. There are lots of examples where we work with national and local charitable organisations to make a difference. And of course, in doing that, we're developing skills and wider confidence and awareness of our students. They do it through a whole wide range of work experience approaches too. We enable our students to be well placed to make a difference in the community. We were also recognised very recently in the OC Beacon Awards for our support for students, commended in that category too. And we work incredibly hard to enable our students to overcome barriers, to be fully supported, to make the biggest of contributions that they can out there in our local community.
Excellent, thank you. How have you invested in the team at CWA to enable us to support local skills needs?
Well, we're a learning organisation, I guess in the widest sense, Sarah. So, our business is delivering skills for the local community. To do that, we have to invest in the skills of our staff. CPD is an important part of our work. We set out our ambition in our strategic plan, and we're really clear that skills is a major driver. We don't deliver qualifications per se. We don't deliver courses. We're really doing, our work is about careers, development and opportunities. And for our staff, we want to upskill them, want to empower them. We encourage them to engage in dialogue with local stakeholders that are relevant to their provision. We provide, for instance, study leave. Staff get up to 5 days a year to invest in themselves. The things that would encourage going back into industry on placement. Yeah. Stay up to date and upskill to ensure that you absolutely are best placed to impart current best practice in the future workforce. We also use those CPD opportunities for new course development. And we're always responding to local need. Recent examples would include delivering Level 5 trainee nursing apprenticeship opportunities for the health sector, particularly the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where there was no local provision. You had to travel about 30 miles to be able to do that. And we were at risk of losing people to other areas. So we've got local provision. It's very difficult to get NHS dentists these days. So we're about to start next year dentistry Level 3 technician apprenticeships. We'll build on that. There are lots of examples. Perhaps less recent one would be lab technicians. There just were no lab technician apprenticeship opportunities available anywhere in the local area. we responded to that need by being the first to start to offer those programs. So lots of examples are just understanding the need,
Yeah.
creating the opportunity for our staff, and encouraging and empowering them to respond.
Excellent. Okay. How have you persuaded employers to invest in CWA and skills?
Well, the acid test for an employer is going to be return on investment. Is it worth my while working with the college in order to support our workforce development? I think when we look at the number of repeat apprenticeship starts with employers, we're working with over 500 employers around our apprenticeship work, have typically had around 1,000 apprentices in learning each year, every year, going back for many years, with much repeat business. There are key sectors, I mentioned some of those earlier, but sectors like engineering, advanced manufacturing, or more specifically, food and drink process manufacturing. Over 30 apprentices in those sectors last year. Many of those repeat business or coming back to us after gaps. I think impact over time, demonstrable evidence that working with the college supports a sustained positive workforce. That's the start to it. From that, you get trust and confidence. And on the back of that, we've been fortunate to see direct investment. The local Queen Elizabeth Hospital invested $500,000 in our School of Nursing Studies just a year ago. Just won an award of £2 million from Anglia Water, and there are alliances to invest in a carbon net zero centre at our Wisbech campus. Those kind of investments only come on the back of long-term trusted, confident relationships, and they're exceptional. It's unusual for a college to gain that level of direct investment, and it's on the back of truly meaning what we say. I think as principal, I have to lead by example, and I take the external facing bit of my role really seriously, Sarah. Every year I go back to the floor with some of our local companies. The first one I can remember, there were probably some before that, but in 2013 I went back to the floor with one of our engineering apprentices at the Dodd Group, picking out a few of the examples. Went to Congham Hall in 2015 with a chef apprentice. I went to Hall Heating with a plumbing apprentice the year after that. Where else have I been? Human Capital Department, which is an opportunity to look at HR apprenticeships. I've been to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital with a Porter team on management apprenticeships. Last year was with a potato manufacturing producing company called Greenvale. I've been to Bestpac, I've been to Middleton Hall Golf Club. That was an interesting one. Learned how to move the hole on a green.
Excellent.
It would be excellent if you could do it in game, but actually with the greenkeeping apprentices, that was just so diverse.
Yes.
The range of work that we do and demonstrating those relationships with employers personally and as an organisation, I think is really important.
Great. You sit on a good deal of local forums and boards. Can you talk us through some of those that have had local impact and the part CWA have played in that success?
Yeah, let me pick a few out for you. So probably one of the more recent ones is the Towndale Board, which is Towndale funds created by government for key towns and cities. This area, Kings Lynn, has benefited from a £25 million direct investment in the area, capital infrastructure, and I've been part of supporting the town investment plan that resulted in successful bids, that's resulted in that 25 million being attracted into Kings Lynn. Skills is a dimension in those. So the very, very first project for Kings Lynn Towndale Board actually was funding on top of the 25 million. It was an accelerated project, and it was our very own School of Nursing Studies. It was ranked the #1 most important needed project in the town, and we've developed it. We're now something like 50 level 5 trainee nursing apprentices through it already, and are talking about potential additional investment to extend that facility, not just for us, but for the sector, for the local area. I seem to be an important project. And other initiatives, things like multi-user community hub, which will be about bringing organisations together right in the town centre. the Guildhall development with its links back to Shakespeare. There are a number of really important projects for the local area. Other groups boards, Wisbeach 2020 Vision, which was created around about 2010, which was looking at investment in a fairly deprived part of Finland. That partnership and initiative has brought major investment into the Wisbeach area. One of the first investments was our own technology centre, £7.2 million facility that demonstrated to the wider area that big investment in this town makes sense and will reap rewards down the line. It brought key partners together and a real commitment to support that area. Similarly, in Kings Lynn, it's been part of the West Norfolk Partnership Strategy Group. It's done lots of good things over the years. It's championed Love West Norfolk as a campaign, which is about bringing people together to have pride in the local area, to inspire others, to attract the very best of people, and encourage people to really feel positively about where they live, work, and enjoy their leisure time. Specific initiatives that partnership has brought, it enabled projects like Open Road to get up and running. It was a supporter of that initiative all those years ago, and it's still very successful now. We did some work around West Norfolk schools and driving interventions that would upskill local people. School performance at Key Stage 4 massively lagged behind county and national norms at the time, and that investment and wider focus was a really good thing to do. I've been part of some national groups too, things like World Skills AOC Special Interest Group, that's been about raising aspirations, and I might say a bit more about that later. I chair the local Kings Lynn Skills Group, and that's just about bringing education providers together so that there's a proper communication, so that we collaborate, don't compete, spot gaps. One of the first initiatives that group is overseeing is the Boost initiative, which is again received some funding through Tandale Board, which was about supporting those groups of individuals that are most likely to miss out, and about plugging some gaps. So lots of examples from that group. I've been the chair of the joint venture company that we established with Anglia Ruskin University. I think partnerships right across education are important, with HE demonstrating that there's a seamless set of opportunities. We sit, Sarah, right now in University Centre West Anglia. It was a £6.5 million LEP-funded project. They sit on the LEP board. I wasn't at the time, probably would have had a conflict of interest, but I've seen the LEP making important investments, and I'm really pleased to be part of that before they transition into a devolution deal with Norfolk County Council. And then other project boards, partnerships, etc. Collaboration with other colleges are important. The New Anglia Colleges group of principals was established over 10 years ago. We collaborate to understand, are there gaps in provision? Can we work better together? Can we avoid competition? We share staffing occasionally on really niche stuff to enable needs on a regional basis to be met, where we'd struggle to do that on our own. And a couple of recent examples would be Strategic Development Fund and the Local Skills Improvement Fund. You know, in Norfolk and Suffolk alone, that's attracted over £4.5 million to support green skills developments, and every college is benefiting from that, and our local communities will benefit from that in terms of meeting skills needs. And there are lots of other examples.
Excellent. Okay. There is a constant need to upskill the local workforce as well as training young people. How do you ensure the team here are kept as up to date as possible and we have the best facilities we can to support our ambitions given the constant financial challenges in the sector?
Yeah. So, I mean, staying up to date is about communication. It's about having a clear strategic plan. It's about regular briefings and updates. It's about lots of CPD, training opportunities. We've got a training day in our last week before Christmas where staff will have an opportunity to really learn about key developments and extend their knowledge, skills and experience. We encourage staff to engage with employers to understand what they need in their relevant areas. We used LMI data and encouraged them increasingly to look at that. Our curriculum planning and development approach it involves bringing quite a few people together, use of data, use of evidence, plenty of challenge. And we've been having a very regular conversation in the last 18 months or so around how do we meet skills needs, and that's what we're talking about now. But we're having that conversation at every level in the organisation and providing some challenge and celebrating when we do that phenomenally well. In terms of facilities, it's been really challenging. When I started here, I think it's fair to say we had some of the worst facilities in the sector. We engaged a project management company, didn't tell me at the time, but subsequently told me that they'd never worked with a college with worse facilities. We have invested something like 60 million in the last 15 years, and much of that investment, some of that's clearly come from us, from reserves, from bank borrowings, direct investment, but much of it has come from external grants, often exceeding grant funders' expectations in terms of leverage, often involving investment from organisations that have no responsibility whatsoever for investing in FE colleges. The tech centre that I mentioned earlier, 7.2 million centre at Wisbech, attracted a 5 million grant from Cambridge County Council, a 1.5 million grant from Fenton District Council, projects here, similarly a tech centre here, investment from Norfolk County Council, from Kingston and West Norfolk Borough Council, grants from Skills Funding Agency and others, and more recently investment directly from employers. The hospital, Anglia and Water Alliance's significant external investment, not because people felt sorry for us because we got tired and dated facilities, but because they recognised it's a good return on investment and skills. We've worked hard to ensure that skills are part of the strategic plans of those key stakeholders. They get the importance of skills in leveraging growth in terms of economic development and social development. And as a result, they've not been investing in us because our facilities aren't good enough. They're investing in skills, and they recognise that we're a trusted partner that will deliver. And so, for instance, this university centre was the first LEP-funded project, and the outgoing chief exec talked proudly of this being one of the initiatives that was on his watch, and having seen the impact of this investment and something that, having the word university on this building in an FE college is significant, and it says something about our ambitions and aspirations for skills development at the highest level for this area.
You've talked quite a lot about sort of our key stakeholders. What do you think they would say about how you lead and engage to support the skills agenda?
I guess ultimately, so you'd have to ask them.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident that they would say many positive things about why they've invested in time with us, not just direct cash investments, but partnerships over a long period of time. Those partners would probably echo what Ofsted inspectors found in 2019. And the reason I say that is because Ofsted inspectors made the judgment call that they did after speaking to a significant number of stakeholders for this college. And so they were effectively echoing their words. And maybe I'll just quote you straight from that report, because what they said is managers and staff work productively with key stakeholders to develop a curriculum that meets local and regional skills needs well. That speaks volumes for the partnership work that we've got with stakeholders, and it speaks volumes for the impact that they see us having in meeting what is a clearly shared vision to upskill the local area.
Excellent, thank you. Now, I can't finish without asking you a little bit about World Skills, knowing how passionate you are about the competition. Can you talk me through why this is so important to you and how this showcase supports us in meeting skills needs?
I'd love to. Well, first, it's not just World Skills, it's skills competitions. Yeah. So I encourage our staff to support our students to compete in skills competitions. Competitions like Salon International Culinaire, which is a bespoke, dedicated competition for the hospitality and catering industry. This year, students went into that competition for the first time in a decade. They went down to London and they competed and came home with a silver, 5 bronze and a couple of merits. Fantastic performance. But you're right, World Skills, it's the pinnacle. It's why it's been dubbed the Skills Olympics. It is the absolute best of the best competing against each other and demonstrating their skills in vocational areas. And the reason I'm passionate about it so much is because it opens so many doors for those students and for others. It stretches and challenges them. It shapes and develops their personal confidence and belief. A CV looks pretty impressive on the back of it. It inspires others and it showcases their talent and the talent of my staff and this college overall. I've seen so many students competing over the last 10 years or so. In fact, in the last 10 years, the College of West Anglia has been ranked #1 college in the East of England 9 times out of those 10 years. Disappointed about the one, but we have a fantastic reputation, and that's been really significant in helping to attract that external investment, because we're seen to be a college that takes skills seriously, and seeing so many students with very humble backgrounds. We saw our first student ever make it into Team GB squad in carpentry. He competed in 2017 in World Skills. He didn't medal, he was highly commended. He was the youngest finalist out of the UK finalists. His potential and talent was spotted. He was given the opportunity to join the wider team. He went from 4th rank to 3rd, 2nd, 1st. He competed across Europe, and ultimately in 2019 he was selected for the Team GB squad. He competed for GB in Kazan in Russia, and he's working for his dad's business in Downham Market. He remains a humble young man, but he knows he's very, very capable as a carpenter, and he's helped to showcase what we do. Vocational education's misunderstood, and World Skills is part of putting that on a proper platform where people get just how capable some of our students are. If I were to give you 1 or 2 highlights that might demonstrate why I'm passionate about it, and also why it makes a difference to helping us to meet skills needs. So our first competitor was Amanda Hughes. She competed 2012, I think it was, in media makeup. She got a silver medal. And I was hooked from that moment on this as a meaningful initiative to really put my shoulder behind. Since then, we've seen multiple finalists. Other highlights would be 2017 was a pretty significant year for us. It was our first ever gold medal in World Skills. And within the space of about 3 minutes in the celebration awards evening, we didn't just win our first, we won back-to-back first and second gold medals, because in that year when Jack competed and was highly commended in carpentry, our digital media production students we'd seen students make the finals before but never won gold. They won gold that year, and a young health and social care student, Harriet MacDonald, won gold in health and social care that same evening, that same year. That was a huge highlight. We were ranked 2nd in England on the back of that performance. Out of 200 plus colleges, that level of recognition for success was significant. More recently, we've seen 6 students competing across 5 different World Skills, vocational skills competitions. In this most recent World Skills UK National Finals, we won gold again, fantastically. Molly Hewitt won gold in health and social care. Now our 2nd gold medal in 5 or 6 years in one discipline is phenomenal. And when you think that we have a partnership with a hospital, we work closely with the ICB, the Integrated Care Board, we've got a School of Nursing Studies, Our apprentice of the year a few years ago was Roxanne. She happens to be a nurse, happens to be at QEH, and we now have yet again one gold medal. Those credentials in terms of why we're doing what we're doing and being really well placed to support a growing health and social care sector. I've got ambitions to extend that facility. It all helps. It certainly helps Molly. Just this morning, Molly has been approached by WorldSkills UK. She is now a Team GB squad member on the back of her gold medal success, which is really fantastic. But if I hadn't said enough, finally, just, what difference does this make in terms of meeting skills needs? Take you back 1 year, where we had finalists competing in Skill Electric, which is the electrical installation WorldSkills vocational competition. And our young apprentice that year, Liam Thorpe, competed. He was highly commended. In other words, he was just outside of the medals. But I heard him recently talking about what he's gone on to do since. And he talks a lot about his time here. He talks about the opportunity to really stretch and extend his skills through WorldSkills. He did a level 3 apprenticeship. He's now an operations manager at a local company, and he's responsible for 35 staff. And I truly believe that having an opportunity to engage in WorldSkills helped to gain that confidence and inspire his employer to see his talent and give him that responsibility to support the skills of so many others. And one final one on WorldSkills, and that is digital media production. I mentioned that in 2017, they won gold. Over the last decade, we've seen 26 medals won by this college in digital media production. And then if I take you back to what is the current highest referenced mention around skills, it would be LSIPs, Local Skills Improvement Plans, defining key sectors. Well, digital and creative is one of those defined key sectors, and engineering and manufacturing is another sector that's key in our local skills improvement plans. Liam and many others have competed in elements of engineering competitions and the digital media production performance. 26 medals were ranked, have to be ranked in the top 5 UK colleges for our success in that area, and LSIP priority. So strong connections for me in terms of the raising aspirations and inspiring others, but an absolute link to key sectors and supporting high-level skills development for local businesses.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's really inspiring, and congratulations as well on what you've achieved in your 17 years here.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.